RF for refactoring, where we would now do the development in the X and the P in parallel. Right, so nobody else would be touching that interface. We would not touch the old one. We would migrate the data map and from the S layer into the P layer, get everything to work, run it in parallel, do regression tests against the same, so we get the same results back. And then eventually what we would do is flip the names. So the refactor would become flights availability get, and the old one would, flights availability get _ old. So we would keep it around just in case anything went wrong over a transition period. But now we're completely out of the critical path on the development team. Anything that we do doesn't impact them. And eventually we will, I think there's about 8 interfaces that need to be done.
Are those otherwise known as V2s?
No.
Like, what is the refactoring you're talking about?
It's so...
You don't have, not a whole lot of detail, just...
Okay, so high level. Originally, when they were starting to do the interfaces, they took the OTA model all the way down to the S layer. So any change we made in the model, we had to redo the S, the P, and the S. And if that S was used by multiple Ps, then those Ps had to be adjusted as well. Right? So I said, screw this. Mm-hmm. We will do a scripted conversion of the XSD provided by Amadeus, do a XSD to RAML conversion, clean through, add the error handling, which they haven't done, but add the error handling, and then all mappings will be done in the P layer. So that is what we consider refactoring. We've got a working interface, but it is ugly. So we have technical debt that we need to clean up. And that's not budgeted for. So what I have offered our team up to do for 2 reasons. One, everybody needs to get some hands-on in the tools and do some development, right? But we have other slightly higher priority things. So if we kind of had to list our priorities as quick bug triage so that we can get a response back quickly, and it shouldn't take more than 5-10 minutes. If it's more than that, then we flag it as there's additional work to be done, right? But so that would be, let's get those off our plate as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. Then next is the critical bug fixes that have been scheduled with a V1. So let's say we are, or V1.1. So for AC2200, we're fixing bugs and they find yet another design change. We fix those first. That is our next highest priority, or even the highest priority.
Oh yeah.
Because we've committed that we will get all the AC200 bugs fixed, the critical and high, by the 17th.
What day is it today?
So 1 month.
The 15th?
Today's the 15th.
No, 1 month.
Today?
January.
Oh, I'm asking the day because I know that.
Yeah, no, it's this sprint. We
Oh.
said we would do it all in this sprint. That's the same with the SMR bugs, right? So the issues with the 408, 9, 11, 12.
Yeah, I
will be
think
one.
Lee is working on that.
But let's say Lee said, I need a RAML change.
Mhm.
That would be your number 1 highest priority job.
Yeah.
Everything else, go and do that and fix it because we need to get it done this sprint. So AC2300, AC2200, any of those things we need to get as our highest priority. Then is meeting our commitments on our deliverables, design deliverables, and then lastly would be doing this refactoring, right? So it's like, okay, I have nothing else I can do. Let's refactor. And I'll have the list, hopefully by the end of today, of what are the interfaces that need to get done. And we'll sort of allocate them out. And then we'll start. The first thing that we'll do is create the new endpoints,
The RFs.
the RFs, yes. And then from there, we can continue on to work in the P layers for those RF.
So how many do we have to do? Do you know?
I think there's about 8.
8? Okay, that doesn't sound too bad.
It could be more, could be less. The S team did an analysis. So, and it's basically one a person. And I figure in the next 30 days, we should be able to get them done.
Sure.
Right?
Because we're just moving the stuff from one to the other, right? I mean, and then making sure it still works.
That is the theory.
It's a three-factor. I mean,
Sounds too
Yeah,
easy.
exactly. That's
we get it working, we fiddle with it, it's still working, we're done.
This sounds easy.
that's the plan.
That's a happy path.
But they have,
So,
but never happen.
I am agreeing with you.
Yeah.
It should go quicker than that. I mean,
And that's
you,
following that thing, how we did the demo, and I haven't
Right.
watched it yet.
but here's what I do know. When they refactored the SMR 4849 411 412, they broke it. Right? So, which is why I said, okay, this now is done out of stream, don't touch an existing interface, right?
Because it can't hold anything up, this work.
And it broke the application calling the interface, right? So they're doing their development and testing. Somebody wants to start refactor and they broke it.
So when we.
And they didn't have a way to roll back.
Mm.
Because I said, what are you doing? Roll back. Oh, we've already made these too many changes. We can't decipher.
What's changing?
Yeah.
Well, what if you're refactoring something and they go in and change the
Yeah.
stuff while you're refactoring, like the real one, they make some bug fixes or something?
So we need to stay on top of that. So what I want you guys to do is take a snapshot of the point in time so that when we get to the end, we can do a diff against their current code, against what we
Right.
saw
Oh,
was
I
a
see.
snapshot.
There you go.
And we can see what they've changed
Yeah.
in the meantime, right?
That'll be part of our thing. The first thing you do is back up a snapshot of it.
Back up a snapshot of the entire, if you're
Project.
booking,
Yeah.
right, do all the files, right? Just do a zip, and then when we get to the end, we can do differences.
And the version of the library you're using, because you'll be using
Also
a
the
cut
library.
of the RAML or whatever,
Well,
right?
yeah, but
Those two.
you'll get the whole project, like the OTA lib will be
Inside
Oh, yeah,
your project
inside the project. So just zip up the entire project
and put it away.
Yeah.
and put it away, and then we'll do
Start
diffs
changing.
at the end, because yes, RAML will be changing in the interim, but for the most part, you'll be guys that are changing the RAML in those projects, so you'll know
Yeah,
what's getting changed, right?
But for Netline, that won't be the case, right? There's no RAM.
No. Some cases.
Netline.
Not for the X. They call the other one, right? The
Web service. I mean, MQ and web services. There's no RAM.
What time is it? Because I've got a,
120? 220, sorry.
I think 900.
It's no RAM.
Oh, it was 800. The one that I start calling a different ones.
That's just trigger, but there's no RAM for that.
What will be? Because it will be receive a one event that it can be, I think it's A, B, C.
so guys on the phone, I've been talking, does that make sense to you guys?
Yes, for me, yes, it's Eric.
Yeah,
Yes, I understand.
okay. So the second thing I wanted to talk to everybody about is I'm sort of stepping back from the team. And I'm gonna turn it over to Evan and Victor to manage from now on. They want me to work more in a quality role to address some of our issues with testing and code quality, like error handling not being done and things like that. So I'm gonna have to focus on that. I want Evan to continue on in the role of managing the workloads, the reporting, that kind of stuff. And Victor, I'm gonna hand over the merge responsibility for RAML to you. You comfortable?
I'm trying.
So
We work with them, yeah.
when I do the pull requests, I'm looking line by line. I read every line. What's changed, what's deleted. I reject very easily. So,
So we follow the same.
yeah.
Rejected. Everything.
Well, yeah, and there's ways to just make a comment and fix it without rejecting it, right? Unless it's a really major mistake
Yeah,
where you
right.
try to, you trim down the RAML down to the one service call and trying to replace it. They went, right? So you'll take over that. And I'll still be around to answer questions, but for the most part, I need to step back to take on this additional role.
Okay.
And so,
So
thank
we
you
have
very
to be-
much for all the
we
hard
have to
work
be
you
nice
guys
to
have
everyone.
put in, and I'm abandoning you.
Well, we know where to find you, Eric, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I wasn't all that available before anyway, right? So nothing is really going to change.
Yeah.
But I will, before I go, we'll get this refactoring figured out.
Yeah, okay.
And plan together. And that'll kind of be my lot, because I will definitely do oversight on that and the quality control and lessons learned and
Yeah, so one of the questions I had for the refactoring, we talked today, right, on the conference room one. And
Oh, the versioning?
yeah, the versioning, so we always pick up, we download the Whistle and always pick up the latest version for refactoring.
we should be touching the SAPIs. So that's already done for us.
The SAPI, so SAPI refactoring is what Ray's team is doing.
Kind of, yeah.
So we're not doing that refactoring.
Correct. So they'll have already built the new SAPI.
So what is the refactoring we're gonna do? The old ones?
Yeah, maybe we need to try it.
Just a second. Yeah. So
No?
I don't know. So let's say the service was air avail. Yeah, or something like that, or multi-availability or something, 14.2 or whatever it is on their side. I think the new one would be like S dash. They put an S in front of the ones that are using the new XSD to RAML. So this one, so we would now have two. We would have S dash air avail get 14.2. All right, so this one sticks around. They built this one new, nobody's using it yet. And then when we start to do our, whatever in the P layer.
The RAML for these new flows, right?
Pardon?
The RAML for these new flows?
Yeah. So we would create whatever it was,
For every URL? in the interface, like every resource?
Just the ones that we need to refactor.
Okay.
Right, so if the old one used, so the old one used this, right? We'll make a copy of this here. You know, or whatever it is, go slash get RF. All right, and then when we do the P, we will now point the P to the new one that they built for us. All the data weave that they had done there, we will now copy into here so we can reuse what they did. Once we get this working, then eventually we'll just take off the refactor, call this something old or something like that in the RAML. It's still there. We don't take away this. It's using this. We can roll back in a moment's notice, you know.
Because
So
the old
our-
one points to the old S layer.
Right.
Still.
So
Yes.
our refactoring is going to P layer.
All our refactoring is in the P layer. We don't do anything. They've already
So
pre-built
they have
it.
to worry about versioning and all that with MTS.
Exactly. We don't touch that.
Only the P?
Only in the P. We're not touching this layer at all. Because they should have pre-built those new XSD to RAML APIs to replace the old one. The old one is still there, but they should have built new ones for us. Okay?
And you say we have 30 days to work on that.
I think that would be a good estimate that we could get them done in 30 days. If there's 8. You know, one apiece.
Sure.
Please copy the RAML.
Okay. So,
All right. Any last questions? I've got 2 minutes and lunch.
any questions, you guys?
No.
Okay, we'll come up with a better presentation of that work, the refactoring work, because Eric was drawing on the whiteboard here and you couldn't see it, so we'll cover that in a follow-up meeting once we figure out how to do it. Okay, then thanks for coming, and tomorrow's the status update, you guys, so we'll be covering all the stuff that's in the overdue, and I'll update the Confluence for you and let you know. Okay, have a nice day, you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.